All right. Assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, everybody. I'm Preacher Mars, host of the SOS, the Shout Out Show, the special edition of our show. We're talking about Eid celebrations today. We're not really trying to get into politics. We're not trying to get into social construct, race, law. We're not trying to get into that. We are really trying to get into nuts and bolts. The question is, how was your Eid? What did you do? How did you spend it? Who did you kick it with? You can actually talk about your Ramadan as well. I had a tremendous Eid. And let me tell you why I had a tremendous Eid. um, I didn't do what we normally do. I really spent time working on myself, working on my spirit. As you know, I've had a kind of a rough 2 years, and I just kind of was like, I needed this Ramadan. And of course, Eid is just it's a cherry on top of the cake, if you will. And just seeing people, and let me throw this out here. Anybody can agree, disagree. Listen, this was an extremely fast Ramadan. I mean, it went quickly. You're talking about, over in a minute. And coming back from Australia, that 2 weeks I spent there, coming back, immediately started Ramadan, going to a couple of things, dealing with jet lag. I think at a certain point in time, it resolved itself. And what I found was I was in the midst of an opportunity. We always talk about shaitan, locking up shaitan. I really had an opportunity to lock up some of my own bad habits, examine in a really meaningful way why they are bad habits, what made them bad habits, and of course, how can you correct them. It was also a time where it's like, you really took stock and inventory of your family and your friends around you. Don't get me wrong. This is a community fast. We've been doing this for years, but I really did, for one of the few times, I really did just a micro assessment of my life, my spirituality, and the people who were around me and what was going on, and kind of putting some space spiritually between all the things that we see in current events and the news that get us upset, that get us worked out, get away from Instagram, get away from Facebook, get away from TikTok. I don't really use TikTok. People send me TikTok, but just, we're in this space, understanding that getting to a place where you're really trying to please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it really pleases you. It really centers you and gives you this peace that you kind of been missing. You didn't know you were missing. I just had a beautiful time in Australia, and coming back to the United States, I didn't have time to get locked up in a lot of misery. Maybe that's what it is. The fast proved a bit in a way. It proved like a really, really strong purging system. Like things were not as necessary as I thought they were. And being able to connect with people, even doing the Shout Out show, I felt at ease coming on the Shout Out show because I felt like every day of Ramadan, I was accomplishing something in the space of people accomplishing something, not going for the same goals, if you will. But what I'm saying is, you're in a forward pattern, and that forward pattern has so much to do with, just being self-evolving, being very reflective, being caring and concerning about the lives of others who are in your orbit. And it was interesting. My little brother JT, he's been on the show often, probably on Instagram. I got to spend like 2 consecutive days of Eid with him, and we probably haven't done it in almost 30 years. Breaking bad. And when I say, I'm not doing iftar. We had 2 consecutive days of doing iftar. And this is the point. I'm saying 2 because he fasts too. So he completed Ramadan this year too, which is awesome. And he began to talk about some of the benefits. And mashallah, let me give a shout out again to Howard University MSA. I had the pleasure of giving a khutbah on March 22nd at Howard University. Yes, Preacher Moss was a khatib. And I gave it, and let me tell you about something about the MSA. And shout out to Sister Nisa who invited me. You're talking to a room full of youth that veritably they have genius. These students are the best of the best in so many different ways, yet they still come to this space to pray Juma. And there was another OG there, I can't remember his name, but it was funny to talk to them and realize that I was in the same position when I was in my 20s, and being able to relate to them, not so much as an imam, as a scholar, but as somebody who's found meaning and purpose in his religion. And I want to say the operation or the functionality of Ramadan is not fasting; it is an opportunity. It is a blessing to have another fast. So many people talk about when Ramadan went out, how they was, they felt sad that Ramadan had left. So if you feel sad, my suggestion is do those extra 6 days for Shawwal, if you can. I'm on day number 4 right now, getting it in, and there's a connectedness to it that it slows you down, but it's not in a way where we're talking about it hinders your ability or your strength. It just slows you down, and you begin to look at things that have more weight, if you will. So I know we have some folks and I'm gonna have to figure this out just a little bit because Sister Satana is gonna bless us and come on the shout out show today. So what I have to do a little bit is figure out how to. All right, I think I got it mixed up. Satana, I got it mixed up. Don't worry about it. We will figure this out. So what we're gonna do momentarily, we're just gonna take a break. Let everybody just queue up, if you can, in the comment section here on YouTube or Facebook or IG. Start typing in how your Eid was, also how your Ramadan was. But what did you do for Eid celebration? Sister Tana's gonna come on and tell us what she did, and we're dying to know because she had 2 weeks from the shout out show. Normally we do the Preacher Bonds Ramadan 30 for 30. I took it on some great advice from Sister Satana, and I did not do the 30 for 30 because I realized, trying to put that product out, trying to put that content out, it's wonderful. It feels good, but it does take away somewhat from my fast, my Ramadan. And one of the best things, I'll talk about it when we come back from the break. And I have 3 things that I want to share with you about my Eid celebration. So don't you move. This is Preacher Boss on the Shout Out Show. We're talking about Eid celebrations, my dear brothers and sisters. So make sure that you come back and make sure you bring your story about Eid. We got people already in the queue. Don't you move. This is the Shout Out Show. We'll be right back. All right, we're back. Let's go ahead and get some shout outs from our comment section. Shout out soldiers. Well, I don't see Sister Ree today. All right. So shout out to Sister Ree, Brother Juwan, and Brother Derek. I'm going to find out, make sure she's okay. I sent Sister Ree her stipend. She probably spent it, and now she don't want to come on the show. No, I'm just kidding. My brother Altaf Sheed, wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, Mr. 6 o'clock straight down, a Canadian envoy to the show. Brother Altaf, I took your stipend and I donated it to a youth group that's dedicated to feeding the hungry. So I gave them your stipend, and may Allah bless you for your generosity. There's another place that you had mentioned in your email. I'll probably send something to them too, but the youth group kind of stood out to me, and they say thank you. My main man, Roberto Rashid, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Double R, how you doing, Lot? Thank you so much for joining the show. We hope that you're definitely going to tell us what you did for your Eid celebration. Nice to see you up in the cut. My main man, big brother Bilal Salahuddin, and by default, his queen sister Sonia Dalton. Salahuddin, what's going on, Lot? I did send that money to your niece. Inshallah that you got it. I did look. There is an error. I meant to send 25. I sent 20, so I will resend the other 5. So tell her not to fret. Okay. Other than that, man, this was amazing. Sister Aika, wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, all the way from Melbourne, Australia. How you doing, sister? Thank you so much for joining the show. Peace and blessings to you and your children. And of course, what's your show without the executive producer? It's not a great show at all. We want to give a shout out to Sister Satana Whitfield, without whom this show, and shout out to Sister Satana. Pretty dope overlay if you guys didn't get a chance to see it. She has it as her background, but it's pretty dope overlay. I'm gonna give you some credit. She stepped up her she stepped up her Canva game. I don't know. I think my Canva game is a little bit better than Sister Tana's Canva game. We can talk about it off the air. I think she's kind of stealing some of my designs, but it's okay. It's all right. You know. Brother Eric, wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Brother Eric, I know I owe you a iftar stipend. So please go to permissible laughter at gmail.com. Send me your pay platform, pay preference, whether it's Zelle, Cash App, so I can get that out to you. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Okay. Thank you so much for putting that up, Sister Satana. So let's get to it. Start thinking and ready to tell us what you did. I'm gonna go to Brother Bilal Salahuddin. Brother Bilal, how was your Eid, man? Tell us about your Eid celebration. Put it in the comment section. Same brother for Altaf, put it in the comment section. Brother Eric, put it in the comment section. And Sister Satana will be coming on to tell us in person how her Eid celebration was. She had a pretty dope Eid. She was like, I can't do the show this week or next week. I'm like, man, they doing some things up in Jersey. Alhamdulillah. So happy to hear that, Eid was so joyful up in New Jersey, considering so many things that have happened. I won't get into that, but joy in New Jersey is the joy in my heart. Alhamdulillah. Let me jump on Instagram real quick. Yo, hey, we got Johnny L. Thomas, Sister. Okay, cool. Gracious Gratitude join. Versage 98, Traveling Pharmacist join. How you doing? Versage 98. Assalamu alaikum from Utah. Okay, wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. What part of Utah? Tell us how Eid celebrations went in Utah, out in the SLC. I've been out there before. And of course, I've been out to Ogden, Utah. Weber State, shout out. Make sure you go ahead and put your information into the comment section. Samora joined. Subhan Malik joined. What's going on? He said, Assalamu alaikum. He said, wa alaikum. Okay, brother Subhan from London Heathrow, my main man. Oh, is that Subhan? Okay, cool. Hey, beloved man, peace and blessings to you and your family, man. I'm hoping that you had a wonderful Eid. We got Jamila Amatullah Jihad, and okay, we got a lot of folks join. Thank you, Johnny Thomas. What's going on, beloved? Wa alaikum assalam, little Ak. What's that? Il Nomadic joined. Muhammad Rafti joined. Tubbs joined. Junaid Sheikh joined. SD Hashimi joined. Ramza joined. Shout out to everybody. Boinsy, Fahim the Dream. What's going on? I like that name. Leather Flowers joined. Hassan Rasul. What's up, beloved? Good to see you in the house. Leather Flower Design, Slam Jersey, up in the house. Dean the Jazz joined. And I think we asked our friend from Utah, what part of Utah? Alhamdulillah. So I guess I began to talk about my Ramadan and my Eid. But what I would like to do is bring Sister Satana in when she's ready to kind of talk about her Eid. Because you guys, when you do shows on the ShOut Show, we kind of keep a story narrative to it. And I really, really tried to keep the focus on Ramadan, but of course we were dealing with current events and things like that. Last week's show was Eid in the nick of time, and I began to talk about how important it was to have this balance. And I have to say I'm thoroughly enjoying just this whole idea of balance coming out of Ramadan. Alhamdulillah, I haven't felt this way in a long time. I'm going to talk about my Eid in a minute. Let's bring in Sister Satana. Sister Satana, bring yourself when you're ready.
I'm ready.
Okay, all right.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. How is everyone? ShOut fam, what's happening? And Eid Mubarak. Mr. Preacher, I want you to bring yourself in. Let's have this conversation on Eid celebrations. I hope everyone had a wonderful time, but we do want to hear from you.
There we go.
There we are. Okay, we do want to hear from you. So we are looking at Instagram as well. So I am, commenting as permissible laughter. So definitely shout out yourself, where you're from, and what was your Eid like. So I am from New Jersey, specifically in Newark, and we had a fabulous time. So as you know, it's getting colder on the East Coast. And so we're back inside. This is the first time since 2009 that we have been back inside. And sorry, my Eid Mubarak pen here uh, is glowing here, so you may see some brightness off of that light. But we actually had a great time. We were back inside, and it was actually an old school type of Eid. So we actually had it in a high school, and I remember growing up that we had our Eid back like in the high school gymnasium, and it was amazing. It was absolutely amazing. We had all types of people that came out, young and old, and just a different vibe that was there. But it gave me just this nostalgia of of back when I was younger, of course, because it cycles itself, and so we were out at one point. I remember being outside, but again, it cycled back when we came. We again like 2009, and then we came back in. So we had so many, thousands of people that were. And I will say thousands, thousand plus, right? That were at the Eid. The Eid prayer was definitely amazing. We had people who were, and at this point, there are just like so many generations who were there, right? So you have up to, grandchildren and even great grandchildren. So you have very just different generations. And so now I'm looking at people and I'm like, who's your parents? Like, who are your grandparents, right? Because the face is so recognizable, right? So we had, of course, our Eat Salat. We had a little breakfast after that. We then had, after that, we had festivities for the children. And so this Eid, and shout out to our Unified Eid Committee of New Jersey, who they definitely do an amazing job. It was packed full of activities for children. The entire day was set up for children
Inshallah.
from yeah. So like video games, like an outdoor video game booth, uh, face paintings. Shout out to Sister Chandra, our popcorn station, candy station, free bikes for people that were donated from people in the community. So it was absolutely amazing. So let's. I see Brother Bilal. No, Brother Bilal is in the comments here. He said we went to eat at Masjid Hamza and came home. My family had a big family Eid celebration in Illinois. We weren't uh, able to attend this year, but we miss being around family.
Bilal
And
sent me a picture of him and his queen at someplace. I can't remember. I think it was the iftar. They getting ready to do iftar, but he and Sister Sonia. I was like, thank you so much for the picture, man. Um, top top of the food chain. JT and I did iftar for 2 days in Milwaukee. We did halal food. It was hilarious. I was at the hotel, and he and Londa came over. My friend Pearl came over, and we just had an iftar in the lobby of the hotel where they have the breakfast, and we just spread out all our food. It was hilarious. It was like nobody else was there. We just spread out food. Uh, Arabic shawarma, um, lentil soup, French fries. I mean, we just
sweet,
spread it out, and we
nice.
just
Yeah,
sat talking like,
I
just
see
just.
Johnny in the
And then the
IG
next
comments.
day, and then the next day we did it again, but we went to this place called Peter Palace, and we kind of walked in thinking if we get there early, yeah, that joint was packed out. People were just falling out of this place with their plates, and typical Muslim style. We You never know where the line starts and when it begins, so people just buy their plates. And the guy was like, "Oh, you have to have a reservation." And so JT and I go up, and we're just gonna order food. It was so funny because we order our food, but they had this fruit, Satana, this fruit, the pineapple was banging, the grapes was big as golf balls, the juicy. It was like, oh, look at this fruit, and we wanted some of that fruit. JT being a good guy, he is. He's like, how much for some of the fruit? And the guy goes like, he goes like this. Yeah, don't worry about it. He's like, yeah, don't worry about it. And so
Okay.
we were tearing that fruit up, waiting for our food.
Awesome. Yeah, I see Johnny L. Thomas in the comments. He said you spent 2 days together, hanging out with his brother. So alhamdulillah. We have let's see, A1 Shahili is like Id Mubarak. I see Sunni Samir joined.
My
Pugsy's
man George
mom.
Green from Melbourne,
Yeah.
Australia, is joined on Instagram.
Okay.
So we got some people.
Yeah. So Instagram, we want to hear from you. Let us know in the comments what you
Let's see.
did for
Akul
Eid.
Duraf joined. Uh, Q8 Muslim joined. Reza Paki joined. I1 A1 Shali joined. Issa Hamza joined. Yeah, Eva Bardick to you. Sunni Samir joined. Puggle's mom joined. It's my good friend Kelly Hansen from Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. How you doing? She got a new job. Shout out to you. Congratulations. Uh, Masood Curtis, one of the dopest nasheeds in the game. I wish I'm gonna try and get him on the show just to sing sometimes. He and I have toured together for like years, and one of the coolest dudes in the nasheed game. And yeah, man, we've done some shows together. Love that guy. In fact, I think the last time I was in Australia, before this time, I was with Masood, and I think we did like one or two shows together. But incredible voice, man, incredible voice. So I want to say again on the record, this was one of my best Ramadans. Um, and you know what it was? I turned Tattoo into Tattoo Me and really just kind of just focus and drill down on, man, we've been through something. This is the perfect time to pump the brakes. Uh, let's change our ethic a little bit. Let's get on top of. Let's not make prayer just the thing you have to do. Let's make it something that you reframe. This is what you want to do, and it just built. So after 30 days, it's like you see the spiritual change, but you see the physical change. Um, the toxins are kind of out of your system when you're fasting. Like you don't put as many toxins in your system. They're out of your system. I gave up a lot of sugar. I'm surprised that Pure Leaf did not go out of business while I was while I was fasting, because I like did hardly any Pure Leaf till the end of Ramadan. I gave up sugar. Still haven't touched the salt shaker. I am so proud of myself, Satana. Kickback shot, and your brother got back to running, getting that 4 or 6 miles in a day. Um, and it was nice because you do it right after Fajr. It just felt really good, really, really good. And I was talking about Howard University, and I digress a little bit. My mother went with me to watch me give the kuppah at Howard University. We had a great day. In between, we went to my aunt's
Oh
house.
wow.
I fed
Hmm.
them. We went to the MSA iftar at Howard, and
Nice.
my mother had a ball. Of course, my mother is an alum. You know, she's an alum, 64, Howard University, and she saw all of these young black faces, young Muslim faces, and people were saying things, and my mother goes, she just jumps up like, I'd like to say, I'm like, yo, and she's like, I'm just filled up with joy. I'm like, you what? She's like, I'm filled up with joy, and I see her, and I'm like, is she about to take a shahada? Because I leaned back, I was like,
Mashallah.
I'm like, Mama, she might be taking a plunge, but she
Go
was
ahead, Sister
so
Mary.
she was so happy to be around Muslims and spirituality and seeing us pray, because she sees me pray, right? But when she saw, she's like, And the other time she saw it, of course, it was with through you when I was in New Jersey that time.
That's
So
right.
this is
That's
her
right. She
second
made a
time,
surprise visit. I was just like, she came up to New Jersey by herself
and she took the
and just
train
wanted
up.
to.
It was like crazy,
I was like,
and
what?
it was like that. And this time she addressed students, Howard alumni, Muslim alumni, and she was throwing down. I was like, whoo. I was like, this is cool. I
Okay.
have to say the fun part was I you of course you pay your zakat, but I got to distribute my own zakat and I really have fun. Just talking to people, hey, you doing? Calling people, you good? Please make dua for my cousin Frank. He had a stroke. So I'm kind of here dealing with that too, but it was fun. I even took him out. Like, yo, let's go. Let's step out. But that's one highlight. Highlight is I got to spend time with my little one, not so little anymore, in Michigan. And when you're traveling and you're trying to manage family and pay bills and da da da, and you get to Ramadan, it becomes sometimes rather. It's like a template. Do this, do that, do that. So the last day of Ramadan, I kidnapped her and we went shopping. And I was like, get what you want, making sure she gets her shoes. And it's a real struggle sometimes to get her to buy stuff, right?
Hmm.
But she's like, she wanted to buy stuff for other people. I'm like, that's fine, give her the
Oh,
money. The highlight of it all was we get to iftar, and I go, we're not going to the mosque. We're not going to the mosque for iftar. So we had a daddy-daughter iftar. So we found this place called the Lebanese Grill off an app. It was close to the hotel. I can't stay where she stays because they had like 4 cats, and that just kills my. I'd be a Claritin addict trying to stay at these people's houses.
yeah. Yeah. That's difficult.
But we went to the Lebanese Grill. They hooked us up with dates and water. She came back. She had a spinach salad. I was like, oh, look at my little lady with a spinach salad. And she had a pizza salmon and da da da. And I was like, look at my little girl. And of course, I ruined the whole moment of forcing her to watch an episode of Sanford and Son. Hey, it's my room. Um, she found out I was a Sanford and Son aholic.
Oh
Like, Daddy,
man.
every line. I'm like,
Too
every
soon.
line.
Too early.
You know,
Too early.
like,
Oh
damn
man.
it. And
Yeah.
we had
Let's talk
such a
about
good
some.
time. And her
Yeah.
reciting the Quran for me.
Oh,
Uh,
that's beautiful. Mashallah.
yeah, I was like, she was excited. Like, Daddy, you want to hear it? She won first place in the Quran competition, right? At her school, alhamdulillah.
Yay.
Well,
Alhamdulillah.
what's funny? What's funny is when we decided to send her to Islamic school, she was really hesitant. She's like, I'm gonna have to take Arabic, and so many people have been taking Arabic so many years. You know what I mean? I'm gonna be behind. And we got her with the Imam Anas out of Philadelphia, Cuba Institute out of Philly.
Oh
We got
yeah.
her
Yeah.
started,
Hmm.
and she just took off. And now I'm sitting here. She like took her phone out. She took her phone out like she's gonna recite Surah Mook for me. And I'm like, oh, it's cool. She takes the phone out. I'm thinking she's gonna, start reading. I look out, the screen is blank. She's just going, just just going, like no hitch, no. And I know it was good because I started getting a little sleepy. Look, I'm started doing that, but
Uh-uh.
a 100% total joy. I don't think I've had a Ramadan like that in a long time. Just out, like you're moving around, you're out. It started off well with the Soul for Muslims fundraiser for
Yeah,
this
because you were
school.
you were in Australia at the beginning of
Yeah, well,
Ramadan.
I came back.
Yeah.
I came back from
Mm,
Australia on the 7th.
mm.
They dedicated the Clara on the 8th.
That's
They had the
right.
fundraiser on the 9th. I was sick as a dog at their fundraiser, but that's a whole nother story.
Yeah. That is
They
humongous. We
and
gotta we got
Omar
we gotta
Kareem,
do a
shout
show
out
on
little
that.
brother. Shout
That's
out
what we
Omar
need to do a
Kareem. He's
show.
like, yo, we're
Yeah.
building the school. We got the property. We're gonna tear it down and we're gonna build it. He's a developer talking to people. They're like, yeah, whatever. And he goes, so tonight he has that enthusiasm. He has that thought. Tonight we're gonna raise 12 point. $12.4 million. And everybody's like, really? Um, and he
It
has
can
this
be
team,
done. It can
and
be done. Right.
they raised $13.9 million.
Wow, subhanallah, subhanallah.
And then
Hey, we
and
got
then
some people
Ramadan
in.
started right afterwards. This was a
Yeah,
pre-Ramadan fundraiser.
yeah.
And so
We
the
have to
Ramadan
have them on the
started,
show. We have to
huh?
have we have to have the Clara and the developers and everyone, the masjid, everyone on
Absolutely,
the show
absolutely.
because
It's
that's
a
an amazing
beautiful,
project. Yeah,
it's
in
an
DC, in
amazing
Washington
project.
DC.
It's an
Yeah,
amazing
that
project. I
people need
was
to
so
do.
happy to just be there, just to see it. Because you hear about it from its inception off of paper. You know, it's a very, very convoluted concept about we're going to build this thing and da da da. And then when you see it coming down Martin Luther King Avenue in the Southeast, it's like, you go like this, mashallah, they did it. And when I was driving, you couldn't find any parking near the Clara, of course. But you saw it had like 300 people, maybe 200, 300 people outside of the Clara waiting it, and it got cold. So that's what got me sick on Saturday, but following Saturday. But we had a shout out.
We got some
Uh,
people
my,
in the
I'm
comments.
Maxine.
Yeah,
I'm so excited just hearing about all the fun you had talking about your Eid celebrations. Salim Abdul Mateen, what's going on, big brother? He said, Eid in DC, the only thing missing was the two of you. Mashallah, brother. I
yeah.
appreciate
I
it.
gotta get there.
I'll
I
be
gotta get
there
there.
next time, but we had
Yeah,
a wonderful time, man. Um,
yeah.
we
Shout
had
out to
we had an
Imam
amazing
Talib and
time.
Sister Fitra and Coffee and all the DC folk that's out there. Mm-hmm.
Well, in DC they do it right.
That's right.
Shout out to Master Muhammad because this
Mm-hmm.
Eid was different because uh, they have totally gutted the masjid. They're doing a major renovation. I think it's $2-3 million job. They've said it to me. I forget, they're gonna raise this part of the masjid and this and that. And I'm like, I'll just wait to see. And yet it's like I believe it's gonna happen because I've seen the Clara now.
The
I'm
mash
like,
shit
you
is
did it for the
gutted.
Clara, you guys on the roll. So I am
Are you saying the
majorly
mash shit is gut? You saying the
enthusiastic.
mash shit is gutted?
Yeah, yeah. So
Wow.
so we have some more people on Instagram. Welcome
Mm.
Shareem, Hassan Al Kurdi, uh, Mawar Farhat, Amir Cool, and Lily Shire. Bouse 69 joined. I was shouted out. Masood Curtis, Hiba, Dilawati. No, I messed it up. And Fawad. I got Fawad right. And so listen, thanks everybody for coming. All right. Fahad Brahim has joined us as well on Instagram. Satana, you got to yell those names out because I'm struggling. I'm struggling. But I mentioned Howard. Mom Maxine is a graduate of Howard University, Howard Law
Yeah.
School. In between the break between Juma at Howard and going to the iftar, we went to my aunt's house because she's like 10 minutes from Howard downtown. You talk about my mom and my aunt getting together, and it was just watching those two together just eat and fuss and laugh and smile. I went over in the corner and took a straight up Ramadan nap about 3:30. I just curled up. You know how that is. I took a straight one. You know how it is. You know when your Ramadan nap is serious because your chin don't move. It's like the stiff, almost like you don't want anybody to put anything in your mouth like while you're asleep.
Oh man.
Yeah, it was amazing. So
So, Al Shaldi said, "Eid is all about the food and the family." That is so true. And we missed a
it is.
comment from Altaf. Altaf said, "It was good, alhamdulillah. I like how it is the only day where people don't have dietary restrictions." That is so true.
Well, you know what? I heard something, and I think I talked about it at Eid last week. And I don't know who the imam was that gave the kuppah at this particular match at Unity Center up in Farmington Hills, Michigan. But he said, the elephant in the room. He's like, with all the suffering in the world and things like that. He said, elephant in the room is how can you be celebrating and happy? And he was like, let me knock that down. He goes, Eid is the only time where Allah mandates joy. Like this is the day that is set aside for you to rejoice. And he's like, it doesn't matter who, what, where, and when. This is the day you are commanded to rejoice.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I was like,
I mean,
you know what? And as like silence the room, I was like, you know what?
yeah,
What other faith tradition is working like that? Like this is your day. I'm not talking about Christmas or Thanksgiving. I'm like, this is your day because Ramadan is specifically tied into Eid al-Fitr. And it's like when you close that book, it's almost like you close the book, but you have perfect memory of what you just went through. And we're smart enough to let it go because, that's the end of it, right? That's all there is to it. Allah has, sorry about that. Allah has granted us this space to move on. Move on. You,
yeah,
you did your time, right?
yeah,
Shaitan did his time. Yeah, Shaitan's been
yeah.
locked up. He's on community service. But Shay is like he's got to start all over again. Did you think
Sure.
about that? Like when Shay gets out of jail, out of lockup, all the evil he's done, he got to start all over again.
Yeah, yeah.
Like we're at
You
our
can,
apex now.
yeah.
He's like, man, it's almost
But
like
he remembers and he does it
he
very
remembers. But
quickly.
he's like, man, I put in all this work, and now look at these Muslims. 30
Yeah,
days on top of the game.
yeah, for
He's like,
sure, for
man, I got to
sure.
put in a whole new layer of work, because I won't lie. I won't talk about anybody else. When I came in Ramadan, I came in raggedy, boy. I was leaning.
Yeah,
I was like,
yeah.
it's not. It wasn't the finish line. It was the start line. You were like, oh, here we go.
But you think about it, it is. And people are like, "Oh, I'm going to do better in Ramadan." And Ramadan is how we set the goal. It's almost like our resolutions, right?
Hmm.
It's like this is the start of of course it's not the Islamic New Year, but it's the start of how we should continue to live our lives for the next through the next Ramadan. Right? This is where we're
Yeah,
at our apex. This is where we're at our best, right? And we should
yeah. I
take
mean,
that through the next 11 months or so, right? So,
what
yeah.
I just appreciate that there's just so many levers, if you will, in layers that you go through during Ramadan. They're the big things, they're the small things, there's certain aspects of your devotion that you're trying to capture and reframe and polish. There's certain things that you want to let go. They may not even be bad habits, but they have the tendency to become bad habits. Um, One of my things during Ramadan is I really don't like, I came to the point, I really don't like to talk a lot. Like I really don't like to talk a lot. It has nothing to do with the breath or anything. It's like, man, I need this time. Because Ramadan, from the moment you start, time is going through the sand glass. We
Yeah.
may say, oh, it's 2 weeks, but this is 2 weeks in a year. So
Mhm.
if you look at it in scale, it's going really quickly. And if
Yeah.
you're talking about
Yeah.
the expansion of your life, it's like this big. It's going. How many Ramadans have we done?
For
You know,
sure. Right.
it's like
Yeah.
how many Ramadans have we really done? How many
Yeah.
times have we really fasted
Yeah.
and put yourself through it? I'm like, spiritually, there's this rabbit hole that you go into, and when you come out of it, it's like there's so many aspects that you can see that you've improved, but you didn't improve. You went through a process that improved you. You went through a process that streamlined. It was like that is just overwhelmingly positive for me. I can't say for everybody else, but definitely for me. And I'm happy to say that the creative aspect of Preacher Moss is back in full bloom and back writing, running, coming up with ideas, pitching. It's like it's fun now. It's like
Yeah.
I had a weird year, health issues, and just I can't talk. Well, a lot of comedians won't talk about it. It's like after October 7th, the business of doing comedy just was so twisted. Gigs canceled, tours canceled. Um, People literally giving their joy away. They're like, "No, we have to take it, please. I need to be miserable." And here comes Ramadan. Just look at if people, if you get a chance to look at Satana's overlay behind her, that's a very happy overlay. If you take my picture off of it, it's an even better overlay. But it's a very happy, festive overlay. When then she sent it to me, I was like, "Yo, this is dope." I mean, it really just perked me up. So they had stuff like Eid Fest down in Atlanta. They're talking about over 5,000 people. It was crazy. People really want to celebrate and rejoice, despite what
Atlanta.
despite
Atlanta. Let's talk
despite the
about
people trying
Atlanta.
to stamp the sad face on the Muslim Ummah. People want to have a good time, and they're going to. So look,
So
everybody.
let's shout out Imam Suleiman Hamid. We got to do that because Atlanta took the cake, right? They did
Yeah,
such an
yeah,
amazing,
they
yeah,
did their due diligence on Eid Fest. They're
yeah.
trying to get it pumping
I hear
again
you.
for Eid
Masjid,
al Adha.
Atlanta
I'm like,
Masjid. My
y'all just
phone just
trying to
dropped.
be the Eid center of the world right now
Yeah,
for
Masjid Al
the United
Islam,
States.
bro.
I'm like, I get it, I get it, but they did their thing down in Atlanta. They
Yeah.
did their thing in
So
Atlanta.
Atlanta
Shout out.
Masjid of Al Islam and Atlanta, they did such an amazing job. This is their, I think, second year of Eid Fest.
This
So
is the
they
second
had,
year. Yeah,
yeah, but it's grown, and people are coming from across the country. So
yeah, people.
we did see that, and so we'll just shout out Imam, Imam Suleiman, and we have great models in our community, and so we know that, as you said, Eid is a very festive, right? Even in the name, right? It's our festive, it's our celebrations, and although
Hmm.
we know that we are having some difficulties and challenges in the world, Allah gives us this mercy and tells us, this is a time for celebration. This is a recurring celebration as it is, right? We know that we have two points of the year that we do get to do this. So then we do need to partake in that, right? And so this is something that is mandatory, obligatory of us to do. So,
I think the thing that's really beautiful is you can take 2 weeks, you can take 4 weeks out of um, you can take 4 weeks out of 52 weeks, and it balances your whole year. Like 100% balances your whole year. We had somebody on Instagram, Brother Basil, Salam, brothers and sisters. The world didn't need Shaitan back in the file right now. How we build up our defense, inshallah. Midnight in the Scottish Highland. So Allah Hafiz. All right, brother. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. All the way from Scotland. Shout out, Brother Basil. So listen, Satana, this is a great show. I'm so
awesome.
glad. We got to make sure, brothers and sisters, that we have Satana on the show more. We need her shining face and her shining background. More importantly, even though she's, I don't know. I got to talk about that Canva game a little bit. We'll do that. We might have a Canva face off
you
one day.
know, oh, so the student has become the teacher. Is that what you're saying?
No, the student's trying to say he's become the teacher, but there's
Okay.
nobody in the class. You can be the teacher, but there's nobody in the class, right?
You know? Mm,
I
okay.
know. I know that you are the Canva uh, master. So
I'll
I'm just
take
talking
queen.
smack.
I'll take queen for that.
There you go, Queen.
Canva
Queen. Okay,
queen.
Queen works for me. But
Yes.
let's get ready to sign off, Sister Tana. I'm gonna let you do the honors of signing off. I normally do it, so you can say, hey, do on behalf of Preacher Monsters, fit in it, and then in fact, let me take myself out. Bye bye.
Okay. All right. Let me do this. So, on behalf of the Preacher Moss and the Shout Out Show with Preacher Moss, we want to again extend to you Eid Mubarak. We hope that you had an amazing time. And again, take advantage of that six days in Shawwal. Right, that is not obligatory, but it definitely is what our Prophet alayhi salam did. So take advantage of that. We hope to see you again. We're on Wednesdays. 3 p.m. Um, um, West Coast
Pacific.
time. Thank you. PST. And I think now that I look at the thing, I got it mixed up. Okay, so 3 p.m. PST, 5 o'clock CST, and 6 p.m. EST on the PM. So inshallah, we'll see you again. Thank you for joining us. And assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.